Well, everybody, Kurt here coming to you for the 40 Days of Prayer. Today is day 11, Wednesday, March 8th, and we are looking today at how much is too much. And this devotional is based on a moment where Jesus had an encounter with a woman, and this recorded in all four gospel accounts, where she broke a jar of perfume over him. In fact, Mark tells us in Mark 14, she broke the jar and poured the perfume on his head. And the thing that made this so significant is this jar of perfume was about a year's worth of wages, and it was to be saved for a very special occasion. And she extravagantly honored Jesus by her generosity toward him to bring honor to him and to serve him. I don't know if you've ever experienced that kind of radical generosity. I want to tell you a story when I was about 4 or 5 years old, how I began to experience this, and it set a kind of posture for generosity from that point forward in my life. My dad was a pastor of a small church on the east side of Indianapolis when I was young, and we didn't have a lot at the time. It was a very small church, and there was a lady in the church who had been given a large sum of money. It's a long story connected to that. She didn't feel like it was hers, and so she really saw that that was her responsibility to bless people with this amount of money that she'd been given and trusted with. And she's very generous with the church and with our family and me specifically. In fact, every single week after church, she would take me out to lunch. She was a grandmotherly figure. She didn't have any children of her own, and she kind of adopted me as one of her grandchildren in a sense. She would take me out to lunch to McDonald's and give me $20 every single week, and we would buy lunch out of that $20. I think the Happy Meal was like 99 cents, so hers and mine, $2. And then the balance of that $20 bill, we went to this place called Children's Palace, which if you grew up in Indianapolis back in the 70s, it was like this amazing toy stores, like the original Toys R Us. And she would let me spend the balance of that buying whatever I wanted, toys, games. And this didn't just happen once, this happened every single week for a number of years. And she would take me home after our excursion out and drop me off back at our place. And then my parents were always like, "Oh my gosh, Catherine, you're so generous. You don't need to do this." And she would always say, "It is my job to share what's been given to me and to redistribute that which has been entrusted to me." And I'm telling you, this set a posture, even at a very young age for me, of wow, this is extravagant. In fact, I did the conversion rate on $20 back in 1978 to today, and it would be the equivalent of $91 each week today. That's a pretty extravagant amount of money to spend on a 4, 5, 6-year-old and allow him to just kind of enjoy whatever he would like to enjoy. I don't know, it was the best pattern for setting me up for the expectation or any of those kinds of things. She's probably been criticized for doing this by some, as was the woman that Jesus encountered that broke the jar of perfume. But he celebrated her generosity. And I tell you, when you've been on the receiving end of things like this, it sets a generosity posture in motion for you, as it did for me. And so as you think about generosity, as you think about extravagant love, what that looks like, you might be thinking, gosh, what's too much? Well, just remember, you can never outgive God. And so he is honored by our generosity, especially when it's extravagant. So I hope you have a great Wednesday. And thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for being on the journey. And I'm praying for you as you continue this journey of running after God's heart.